Hello everybody, my name is Bruce. Welcome back to my channel. If you guys want, you guys could actually follow me on Instagram at scrumptious underline greens on Instagram because I am a snack who collects plants. Hey! Okay, so anyways, back to this video. I'm not too sure if I'm being loud enough for my phone to pick up the audio. My new apartment has a lot of acoustics, and so just being right next to the wall here, I feel like my voice is really bouncing back off. So guys, just let me know if you guys could actually hear me or if I need to change the locations for my filming. Anyways, so today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about some of the easier, harder to find Hoyas, as in just easier care overall, and just overall Hoyas that you don't really have to worry too much about, unlike a Hoya undulata. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this pretty baby. So this one is my Hoya Sarawak cream. It's actually really nice that I do have all this space, because now I can actually show you guys the plant overall, which is super nice. But yeah, so it's a super easy Hoya to take care of, super gorgeous Hoya to have. I mean, you have these prominent veining, and I think one of my friends has hers a little bit more sun stressed, and so it's a little bit more yellow with more hints of red throughout. And I don't know, I think it's one of the most gorgeous Hoyas out there. So I did buy this from Peter from the Hoya house. This was a little bit more expensive, or on the more expensive side of it, Hoyas. Do I regret it? I don't. Only because this is super hard to get a hold of right now, super popular, and I mean, can you blame them? You have the very prominent veinings and everything. So overall, it's super easy because the leaves are super succulent. And so if you're used to taking care of like a Hoya Chelsea, a Hoya Crimson Queen, a Hoya Crimson Princess, they're all super succulent. And so you usually know whenever to water when you grab the leaves and you try to give it a little bit of a squeeze. And if the leaf bends, then that's when you know that it's time to water. So right now, I think it's still adjusting to my new place. I did just move, and so I think it's still adjusting. I'm actually not too sure if it liked the lighting at my old place or not, but it seems like there is a new growth bud or growth point at the tip here, which is super exciting. But yeah, so let's move on to number 2. So number 2 is my Hoya Ringson. This one was originally in Lekka, and so when I won this in the auction, I didn't realize that it was going to be in Lekka. If so, I would have told the seller to just wrap it up in sphagnum moss and just ship it over to me, because I know that you could reuse Lekka, and because I don't use it, it's going to be thrown away anyways. I personally don't care for Lekka only because I don't have all the materials needed for Lekka, and it's just not something that I want to get into just yet until I figure out my space. So again, it's kind of like the same thing with the Hoya Sarawak cream. The leaves are fairly succulent. I mean, it's more on the softer side, and so usually you'll really know whenever it does need water when it's not as plump. And so when you kind of give it a squeeze or give it a little bit of a bend, you could kind of tell just how thick it is, and whenever it does get fairly thin, that's when you know that it's time to water. Now, when I first got this and transferred it, it had, I think, 2 growth points, and those 2 growth points ended up drying off and dying off, and just recently it started putting out this new leaf, and I'm not sure if you can see all the splashiness on it, but super gorgeous. At first I started falling out of love with this Hoya until it finally started giving me this new leaf. So, oh yeah, so the transfer from Lekka to Soyo was actually super easy. Yeah, I didn't have any troubles besides just the new growth buds falling off. I didn't have any leaves falling off or anything like that. It just needed to adjust. I think it took maybe 3 or 4 days for the roots to actually attach to the soil. So super, super, super easy. And then it's actually giving me a new growth point right at the base there. So I technically have 2 growth points or 2 active growth tips. So again, super easy. I did kind of spend a little bit of a pretty penny for that one too, but not as much as the Hoya Sarawak cream. Of all the Hoyas I do have in my collection, that's the Sarawak is probably one of the most expensive Hoyas in my collection. So moving on to this next one. This one was a free cutting from Rick. This is the Hoya NS05240. And I don't know, it has quickly become one of my favorite Hoyas in my collection. I can't tell you how much it is, only because I don't really see this one being sold on the market. I mean, even when I was trying to look up this Hoya and I came across Vermont Hoyas, Doug Chamberlain, the dude that does run Vermont Hoyas, was saying that he got his from Rick. So it seems like it is a pretty hard Hoya to come across. It was a super fast Hoya to root, and so I threw this into a prop box. I'm not sure if you guys saw that in my Hoya collections video, but I just threw that in there, and I think it rooted within a week, and all 3 nodes rooted. So I decided to just separate all of those nodes and just pot them up. So I did just pot this up sometime last week. I want to say Thursday, like right before I moved. I just wanted to kind of get it attached and start getting it going because I needed to throw some other stuff into my prop box. But yeah, overall it seems like this is pretty easy. I've gotten water on the leaves, and it seems the water really doesn't seem to affect the leaves in terms of leaving the water on it. I'm still trying to figure out when it never does need to be watered, but I think I'm just going to water whenever the soil does get dry and just kind of go from there. But overall it's just like, this Hoya is just vibing. So my next one is from Gardino's. This one is the Hoya zeleda, and this was originally called the Hoya pubic calyx white dragon, I believe. Overall, super fast growing. I think within the week that I got it, it threw out this huge tendril, and yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if it's the lighting that caused these 2 leaves to be really massive in comparison to the rest of the plant, but the new growth is super, super waxy. I'm not sure if the light's catching that, but yeah, you can see that super waxy. And I haven't really had any troubles with this one. I did notice that whenever it needs water, you'll start seeing more of the veinings become a little bit more prominent, and that's whenever I know that it's time to water. Plus, I usually wait until the soil does go a little bit more dry before I do water. So overall, super, super easy Hoya to take care of. I think, I want to say that this was maybe around 40, but I can't remember. I'll have to check my transaction, but I really don't want to be reminded of the pain. So that was number 4. So the last Hoya on this list is actually my Hoya morelii. So I believe that I received this sometime earlier this year, before the Hoya hype really took off, and so I bought this for about $18, and it came with 2 plants, and it didn't come with soil, so I threw these into some cactus mix because that's what I had at the time. Kind of like, it was just the mixture that I just had on hand as a backup, if anything, and that's what this got. And ever since then, it's just kind of been thriving. I did notice that this Hoya does need more of a warmer temperature to actually grow. At my last place, I couldn't really control the AC, and so the AC was just constantly blasting. And this Hoya was the closest one to the AC, and so it grew relatively slow, and then my AC stopped working for about a week, and I got hit with a heat wave. And during that time, it threw out so much growth. Like, basically, all of this top half is new. A couple of these newer, smaller leaves are very new. It just it's one of the fastest growing Hoya for sure in my collection, and it's super waxy too. I'm not sure if the light's gonna get that, but it's super waxy. The older leaves are not as waxy, and I'm not sure if that's because of lighting, because this is one of the older leaves, and even the veining is not as prominent. The same thing as before, the leaves are super succulent, and so I can't even bend this one. If I do, I'll probably snap it. And so I usually try to grab onto one of the older leaves and I kind of give it a little bit of a squeeze. And if it gives at all, that's when I know that it's time to water. Only because this is one of the most succulent Hoyas I do have. So overall, a general theme to a lot of the Hoyas that I do have that are succulent, those are the easiest Hoyas in my collection. They just seem to retain water really well. They seem to adjust really well. I haven't had any problems with more of the succulent Hoyas. The only Hoya that I do have a problem with is my Hoya Carrara, and that's only because it's more of a cardboardy feel, and it seems like the cardboard type of Hoyas need higher humidity and a lot more water. I'm still trying to figure it out, but it's definitely one of the harder Hoyas I do have. Yeah. But I think that's all I wanted to cover for today. If you guys wanted to see anything else, please let me know, but I just wanted to try to get a video out there, let you guys know that I'm a-okay. I'm kind of struggling a little bit with my sleep schedule. I just moved, what's today? Today's Monday, so I just moved 2 days ago. Woke up at like 6 a.m. And I already have to be ready to start my new work shift from 7 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. And that starts tomorrow, which is Tuesday. So I was trying to readjust. I couldn't. I just can't sleep in a new place quite yet. And so I'm a little bit exhausted. So if I also seem like I'm a little bit out of energy, that's the reason why. But yeah, so that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and until next time. And don't forget to subscribe to, or not subscribe, well, if you want to subscribe, I mean, I have no problems. But if you guys actually want to follow me on Instagram as well, scrumptious_grains, that'd be also really perfect. But yeah, goodbye.